Hello, hello, welcome to my humble boat. My name's Denise, and today we're going to be going ahead and checking out some of the cozy games that I tried out in the month of June. Now, I tried out actually a lot of cozy games. It was kind of overwhelming how many games there were last month. I was dealing with some stuff, getting a new job and stuff. I did get a new job. So this video is inspired by Peyton's and Iona's videos. I want to put myself in the little ring and kind of try out this kind of format of video too, because I feel like every cozy gamer has their own preferences, their own dislikes and likes. Let's go ahead and get started. First game I tried last month was Smushi Come Home, and I absolutely loved it. It's a kind of like a short hike inspired game, and it is essentially a cozy adventure game where you get to explore an entire world of wholesome, beautiful island as a small little mushroom. Now, the only issue is that a bird goes and captures you and flies you all the way far, far away from home, and you're like, oh shoot, I've never been away from home. I'm a little bit lost. So Smushi is not really an adventurous type. They've always been in their own island with their little family and friends, and so this is a huge, big thing. Very huge. You're not really sure where you are, but at least the environment's beautiful, and there's a lot of nice characters around, and snails and all these little like creatures around that are there to help you, and you're there to help them as well. This game is definitely an S tier sort of game. I love the game. As soon as you start the game, the ambiance was amazing. Now, it doesn't make much sense when I'm saying this, but when you're like flying across the sky and claws of a big ass bird, you're holding on for dear life. It's a stressful sort of thing, right? But when I saw that, I was like, dude, being in the claws of a big ass bird that's about to eat me is so relaxing and so serene, especially with the beautiful music in the background. I was just so blown away by the combination of it all, the beautiful visuals, the beautiful music, and just looking across all of the things on the ground. It was gorgeous. Now, I am not a platform type of girly. I don't like jumping around and dying and straight up feeling punished by it. But what I do like about this game is that I didn't feel punished at all. I felt very nurtured, okay? This game allows you to go ahead and jump on things and explore it really at your own pace, so you don't feel stressed, you don't feel rushed, you know, you don't feel like, oh gosh, I'm dying again, oh, I'm dying again, oh, I fell again, oh gosh, it's so hard to get up there. It just felt like very relaxing as I'm exploring everything, and I just like absolutely enjoyed all the little details that the developer added into this game. There was like this one feature where you're like gliding across, just like in Breath of the Wild, and the little leaf that you're gliding with just disintegrates as you lose stamina. Like, whoa, I was so incredibly impressed by that little feature. I'm a story type of gal, but if there is no story in this game, then I have to love all the characters in the game. And boy, did this game hit with the characters, because sometimes I feel like all the characters are kind of the same. They're like, meh, NPCs, whatever, right? But all the characters in this game have their very own unique and wacky personalities, and it's just so fun to meet each of them. They all have very different designs, they all have like very fun dialogue, and you're just like, that's questionable, but alright, I love you. And so I definitely recommend this game. It's on Nintendo Switch, PC, and Mac for about $19.99, so go ahead and check it out. If you're a huge fan of Nintendogs, you might love Little Friends Puppy Island, but it did not vibe with me especially. Now I know you're like, what are you talking about? You don't like Nintendogs? I might not be the demographic for that type of game. I love the concept of Nintendogs, but I never owned it. I had a friend who like played Nintendogs all the time, and I would play a little bit, but it was never a game that I owned myself. Just more like I really wanted a dog in real life, and the next best thing to having a real dog, because my parents wouldn't let me, was to get the Nintendogs game. But now that I have this game called Little Friends Puppy Island, I have to say that it wasn't as exciting as I wanted it to be. Now, it is very relaxing, it's very calming. You get to go ahead and dress up a little cute dog, you get to walk the dog, you can go ahead and like wash the dog when it gets dirty, feed the dog, play with the dog. It's all very cute and fun, but my only issue is that it is a very repetitive game. Now, there are more features in this game than Nintendogs, because now you can go ahead and like build like little parks and buildings and shops with your little dog, and your little dog helps you build all these little buildings, and they become construction workers workers. You can go ahead and employ them. So yes, it's not kid labor, it's more like dog labor. It's like, yes, it's all right. It's okay. It's fictional, whatever. I love that part of the game, and I love all the little mini games that you can encounter while you're on the walks. That's very different and new, and it keeps the game a little bit more exciting than Nintendogs. Now, while you're on your walks with your little doggy, it's super cute. Your little poopsies, that little detail just made it 10 times better for me. I love it when like little dogs just like crouch and kind of like do little pose when they like poop. Anyways, now what I find really interesting and unique about this game is that while you're on the trail and you're walking your dog, you can find like dogs randomly like wandering around, and you can just capture them like Pokemon. And I'm like, okay, that's not normal. All right, but you know what? I accept it. I love that because you can bring them home, wash them up, and then you can have like a whole army of dogs that you can employ so that you can go ahead and later on build the island of your dreams. This game is about 12 hours or more in length if you want to really explore it. I just feel like this wasn't exactly my type of game, so I'd have to give it like a C tier, but maybe some of my cons are your positives. Currently, it's on a Nintendo Switch and PC for about $39.99, so go ahead and try it out if you like. Next, we have a Frogsong, a perfect game for all you frog lovers. Now, I am a huge fan of frogs. I am a huge Karopi fan. Like, look at this. This is a frog keychain, right? Frog computer keychain, but it is also a USB. Like, come on. It's from Sailor HG, if you're all wondering what that is, but it is literally the cutest frog themed item I have. That's so cute. Anyways, Frogsong is a great game. I would consider it an A tier sort of game. It's about a little tree frog named Chorus who really has big dreams of being a protector and defender, but they're a little tree frog, and little tree frogs are expected to lead a life full of religious studies, which is not what they wanted to do at all. In fact, unfortunately, they are really small, and that does not help with them becoming a warrior. Nobody really takes them seriously because of their size. Since nobody in your hometown really accepts you as you just decide to go ahead and move to another place entirely. A place that you feel you could be accepted in and become a warrior. And under the tutelage of an extremely awesome warrior veteran, might become the warrior of your dreams. But it's still a lot tougher than you expect it to be. You're really small and nobody really takes you seriously. But on the sidelines, you hear some kind of like rumblings of this rumor of this huge, incredibly large monster that possibly might attack everybody and ruin everything that you know and love. You need to figure out how to save everybody, especially the new people in your life that now accept you as you. Now, I do love Frogsong, and that's why I rated it as a A-tier sort of game, but it didn't blow me away. It does feel like the same story that has been told already. Now, all the characters are charming, but they're not gonna blow you away in terms of like, wow, they're different, they're unique, because this game is like pretty short. It's about 5 hours in length, so not much of the individual characters were really delved into besides like the main character, which is you, and some of the other characters in the new town that you move into. I know like some cozy gamers don't like fighting in the games, but there is some like fighting in this game, and I don't really mind that myself. This isn't something that you should really worry about too much, because for most of the gameplay, you can actually dodge most of the fighting in the game, and if you do actually have to fight like a boss or something, you do have this like little bug character that kind of flies around you, defeats everything for you instead of you having to go in and fight yourself. Now, I do really like this because it actually makes the gameplay a lot easier at times, and most of the time I'm actually just there for the story. Now, most of the gameplay is actually traversing from one location to the next. While you're like traversing from one location to the next, there's like a lot of like enemies and bugs that are like trying to like kill you, right? There is really no big issue with this gameplay, but it felt like most of the gameplay was just like traversing from one location to the next, and I wanted more story. I wanted more like little quests, like to kind of like understand some of the characters more. Now, those were some of my qualms about the game, but I actually do really like this game because of the story. I do like how encouraging the game is, and though there are some darker and more emotional points in the game, I felt like we can do just about anything we want to if we really put our minds to it. Just because we're different doesn't mean we can't do something, and that's really what made me put it as an A tier sort of game. It is available on PC and Mac right now for about $14.99 if you're interested in getting it. If you love the original A Little to the Left game where you get to organize things and put things in the right place, then you're gonna absolutely love the DLC. They said that there are like about 25 new levels that are cupboard and drawer themed. Now, I actually think there are 21 levels instead of 25, and the reason why I say this is because 3 of the levels are just you petting a cat. That's it. It's very cute, but I wouldn't consider that really gameplay. And the last one is the end credit. They call it a puzzle, but it's an end credit, let's be real. So in actuality, there's only 21 levels for about $5.99, and it's available on Nintendo Switch and PC. I think it's actually really worth it because the 21 levels are really fun and so satisfying. If you already loved A Little to the Left, you're gonna absolutely enjoy this new DLC. I think it's really worth it if you love like vibrant art with like the satisfying gameplay where you're like putting everything in its right place. It's just so relaxing when you're like really tired, you're finished the day, you don't want to think, you just want to like zone out, maybe put on a podcast and just like put things in the right place. This game is the one for you. Next we have Dordogne, and Dordogne is a visual novel game where you play as Mimi. I consider this an A tier game. She comes back to her grandma's house after her grandma has passed away against her father's wishes. So she's now an adult and she wants to go ahead and visit her beloved grandma. Now her grandma is a tough woman and she lived a full life. But Mimi hasn't like visited her grandma in a long time, but she remembers her visit one summer with her grandma and she wants to go ahead and come back and figure out what happened between her dad and her grandma and family secrets and so on. Now the game is actually a lot darker than I was expecting when I went into the game. Like there is like a juxtaposition between Mimi's adult self and Mimi as a child. As a child, she's very carefree, happy-go-lucky, you know, everything is super vibrant, just so exciting to explore as a kid. But as an adult, things are a lot darker. Things are a lot different. She doesn't seem to have a great relationship with her parents, but when you're going back to the house, you remember all the good memories and you get to figure out what happened to everybody, like what happened in the past, like what happened with your dad and your grandma. And throughout the game, you can find like little tapes and stickers. You can go ahead and play them over again, and it's so stinking cute.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to
Bad Books in August
with my co-star Mimi.
It just flashes out each of their personalities so much more, and I love how precious those moments are to these characters. Now, I was really impressed by how like beautiful this world is. It's all like hand-drawn watercolor, and they even had like streams like where they are actually painting each and every little thing of the game. It's insane. The game is so detailed. It's beautifully voice acted, and I am just super impressed with this game. And I especially love the little interactive bits because one of my qualms is that when visual novels include like little interactive bits, it just doesn't hit as well because it doesn't really relate to the game. It doesn't really progress the game, but the little mini games in this game does like serve a purpose. The game is available on Nintendo Switch and PC for about $19.99 if you would like to try it out. Next, we have Charade Maniacs. It is an Otome game, aka a dating sim that is targeted towards women and females. And I would actually rate this a B- or C. And there's a couple reasons why I think this way. But before we get into that, I do have a little package that they kindly sent to me. It is so nice. I don't really play a lot of Otome games, but I've talked about a couple of them and I'm starting to get into them. But this one is for a 10-card double-sided bromide set, which contains major spoilers, so I will not be showing you this. Next, we have steel case, and it's really nice. It's so nice. Like, look at that. It's good. Like, all the like hot-ass characters are on the front. Like, boom. This is the inside. There are too many guys in this game. It's hard. It's so many. Like, whoa. On the next layer, we have like the CD set, so you can see here like the soundtrack, which is pretty nice. And then in the last layer, we have this little script for the game, which is pretty cool. And they also have this little art book. So it's Charade Maniacs Behind the Curtain. And if you open it up, you can see all like the art for each of the characters. And this one is, oh, he's so cute. Look at him. Oh my gosh. I love his design. Look how, oh my god, look at his hair pushed back up. Oh, that is so cute. Anywho, let's continue on. Oh gosh, okay, I can't stop. Okay, so this is the guy I really enjoyed. I wanted to pursue him, but I couldn't for some reason. And yeah, so anyways, this is the glasses guy. Oh, there's just too many. There's just too many. Okay. Anyways. Oh my god, look at that. Oh, okay. Let me stop. The whole entire box. I think it's actually really nice. But anyways, let's talk about the game because that's what we're here for, right? So a mysterious figure goes and abducts you, Hiyori Senna, and you and 9 others are transported to a strange world called Arcadia. Now everyone must act out dramas for a chance to escape, all whilst avoiding the trappings of a traitor. Now I think this is like super interesting because I've never had a game where transported into an entirely new world and then you have to act out dramas in order to survive. Like, that is definitely new, and I actually really enjoyed the story of this game when I first started out. So I played this game and I originally wanted to romance this one guy named Dazai Mei. I thought he was like super cute. He's a little shy boy, little sweetie, you know. But then it somehow converted to this other guy named Akase, and he's nice too. He's like very cheerful. He's just like very cookie cutter. There are definitely a lot of guys. There's about, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. There are like about 9 guys in this entire game, and I only actually dived into one of them and did a little bit. So I only did a couple, like maybe 5 hours of this game or something, and it's just a lot. There's a lot of this game. There's so many routes, and the issue is that there are too many guys. You can't really dive into all of these guys and have the story be fleshed out and the plot lines without plot holes, you know? So I did actually go ahead and read some of the plot, actually the entire plot for the game, for all the routes, because I just could not play all of them. There's like about 20 hours of gameplay in this game, and it's just a lot. And there are some plot holes in this game that made me question things, that made me go, what the heck is going on? But I do like how there is a factor of like you have to figure out who the traitor is, and that's what really made me enjoy it the most part. I feel like the love story is not really strong. The moments where you can kind of like see them like kissy kissy, they're frequent, but they're not spicy, so it's kind of like whatever. Alright, I wish there was a little bit more spice, but you know what? The story made up for it. Now, I wouldn't take the story too seriously. People were complaining about how there are a lot of plot holes. Now, the plot holes are there, and that's why I kind of gave this game a C, you know? But don't worry too much if you just choose one guy and just run with it, okay? Just choose one guy and run with it. Maybe 2 guys if you're feeling up for it, you know? But don't think too hard. Don't think too hard, okay? It's all just for fun. Now, I did read through all the plot lines, so I have to say a lot of the guides are very interesting, and they are very, very unexpected when you get to know them a little bit more. There are some secrets and things that you find out, or like where you go like, oh, whoa, that's not normal. That's different. That's very interesting. Did not expect that from him. But cool, I guess. And wow, this is a visual novel, so if you're into like games with a lot more gameplay, this is not the game for you. I would actually say for the most part there's not a lot of like exciting bits to it. They try to make it exciting with the music, the artwork, but it's not as interactive as, let's say, Dordogne, right? That one is like out of this world, and it's a lot shorter in scope too. This game is 50 hours of gameplay. It's $49.99. It's available on the Nintendo Switch, iOS, Android, and originally the PS Vita. Now, I'm really interested in trying out more Otome games. I do like dating sim games. Let's just say I like the weird ones. I'm really excited to try out the horse head one. There's a Otome game where people have like horse heads. There's also one where you date a bunch of pigeons. And then there's also one where these guys have like really, really pointy chins, and one of them is a little bit cuckoo. You know, there's always that one guy in Otome games that has a bit of a screw loose, a little bit of a serial killer-esque vibe about them. Yeah, it's definitely interesting. It's definitely different. But I'm excited to go ahead and try those out and kind of explore them with you. Maybe in the next like review review, ranking, I don't know, ask type of video, I'll go ahead and talk about more Otome games. And yeah, I'm just having a good time. Anyways, alrighty, that's about all the games that I have for this video. But let me know if you've tried any of them, what kind of games that you're playing in the month of June. Let me know what you've been enjoying, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!